So quick recap, we spoke about 4 attachment styles in romantic relationships. We spoke about the anxious attachment. They are the ones that constantly want to be in contact with their partner, not wanting to leave any space because they fear that their partner might leave or stop caring. They can be intensely jealous and sensitive, and they crave attention and reassurance. And they can sometimes even act out, like probably hurt themselves or pretend to be sick just to get their partner's attention. We spoke about the avoidant attachment style. They are the ones that avoid any form of emotional closeness, avoid getting in sync with their emotions. They seem to be emotionally unavailable, and they highly value their independence. We spoke about the fearful avoidant style. These are the people that swing more times on a pendulum. One day they're very committed, the next day they're distant. Why? Because they have a fear for commitment, and they are a combination of the anxious attachment and the avoidant attachment. And lastly, we spoke about the secure attachment style, which is the healthiest and most balanced form of attachment style. But today, we are here specifically for those with the anxious attachment style and to talk about the way out, like how you can journey from anxious attachment to secure attachment style, because your attachment style can actually change. Having an anxious attachment style can actually be very overwhelming, not just for you, but also for your partner, especially if your partner is avoidant attachment style. As someone with an anxious attachment style, your brain has already learned from past experiences that love can be unreliable and inconsistent. And now, as an adult, your nervous system is constantly on high alert, scanning for emotional danger. And that is why you constantly replay text, you overthink, you constantly want reassurance, only for the cycle to begin again. For example, if your partner reassures you last week, it doesn't mean that it is okay. You still probably want them to reassure you quite often. So now, here are some few practical steps that you can take to journey far away from anxious attachment style, because awareness is the beginning, and that is why you can have the power to be able to change these patterns. Number 1 step to move far away from anxious attachment style is to notice your triggers. Develop awareness around them. What does your partner do that spikes your anxiety? Is it when they don't text back immediately? Is it when they seem emotionally distant? Is it when they make plans without you? Awareness and clarity is the beginning of healing. So write your triggers down for clarity. Number 2 is communicate. Not in a demanding and accusatory or passive-aggressive way. So I'll teach you a life hack. Whenever you want to communicate your needs, start your statements with I. For example, rather than saying, "You never call me" or "You never text me back," say, "I feel anxious whenever there's long delay in communication, and I would appreciate it if we could find a way to stay in touch regularly." Or if you are upset that your partner is always making plans without you, rather than saying, "You don't care about me," you can say things like, "I feel hurt and left out when plans are made without me. It would be really great if we could discuss plans so I feel more connected." So what you're doing here is you're not sounding needy, you're communicating your feelings and your needs and not focusing on the blame. So whenever you want to do this, ensure that you're not feeling highly anxious and your partner is not stressed or distracted. Please learn to self-soothe. Relying solely on your partner to regulate your emotions and reassure you every day can put a lot of pressure on them, and that as well can reinforce your anxious patterns, and that is not what we want. So learn to self-soothe. Whenever you feel the impulsiveness, the surge in anxiety to react or to call 10 times or whatever it is, please pause. And the hack is the moment you pause, you breathe slowly. Because breathing slowly immediately calms your nervous system. Put your hand on your chest and say, "I don't need to panic, I am safe." When you're practicing this, very often you're doing something really powerful. What you're doing is you're training your nervous system and rewiring your brain that you can survive this space. You don't have to indulge your impulsivity. Sit with it while breathing slowly. And it is when you're calm that you can go back to point number 2, where you can communicate your needs effectively. As you pause and take a deep breath, you can also engage in grounding techniques. Go for a stroll, engage in hobbies, just do something that grounds you. Next step is find a partner who is secure attachment style. So let me explain what I mean by this. Your relationships can actually alter your attachment style. It can make you go from anxious to secure, or from secure attachment to avoidant, or from fearful avoidant to anxious attachment over time. And you become secure when you surround yourself with emotionally safe people. People who don't just leave you guessing. They're actually people that feel so safe that they don't even know that they're building your self-esteem without even trying. You are very deserving of healthy and consistent love. The next step to move far away from anxious attachment is challenge your anxious thoughts. Ask yourself, are my worries based on current realities, or is it from my past unpleasant experiences? Is there a more balanced perspective? Remember that not every silence is an abandonment. Next step, invest in personal development. Channel that energy into building your emotional regulation and communication skills. Because what anxious attachment does is it makes you to become emotionally dysregulated. Anxious attachment drags your esteem to the floor, but personal development would take you up and build that self-esteem. Work on your confidence, take courses, learn and apply. And healing starts when you stop outsourcing your worth and you start to choose yourself, and healing starts to take place within yourself. The next step is develop a strong support system outside of your romantic relationships. I know not everybody would want to hear me say this, but it's important to also, lean on friends, family, a professional like a therapist whenever you're feeling overwhelmed, rather than relying on your partner as your sole source of support. The next step, we often forget, but focus on small, consistent, positive experiences. Those times that your partner has actually shown up for you and, they have actually been consistent with you. Acknowledge those moments and know that it's not really entirely that bad. You're not abandoned, you're loved. People with anxious attachment actually struggle with a lot of trust because of their past experiences probably. But see your current partner as an individual, not as a reflection of your past experiences. They're different, they're new. Experience them and see what they can offer. Next point, you have to be patient with your healing. Even if you're working, there will still be moments of neediness and overthinking and panicking. But this means that you're human and you're trying to reprogram years of rewiring. So be patient with your healing and take it one step and one day at a time. And every day is a new beginning to exercise whatever it is that you're learning and practice it. Pro tip, every time you regulate instead of react, every time you stay instead of chase, each time you validate yourself instead of begging for it, you're doing something powerful. You're retraining your nervous system and rewiring your brain to becoming more secure. Remember, your journey from anxious attachment to secure attachment is possible, and it all begins from awareness to those small, consistent steps. You've got this.